evening, people. After saying for so long I couldn't think of anything to talk about it, there's been a couple of things cropped up recently. There's a video of mine which is about passing horses, and there's a lady organising a campaign to get the law changed so that horse riders submitted footage of reckless drivers and country road users who endanger the lives of horses and horse riders can be prosecuted by it. Now, I fully support that something needs to be done about it, and I wish her all the very best with her campaign. A lady called Debbie Smith. I'll put a link to the campaign in the description. Before I go too much further into it, I was also reading that Birmingham has the highest rate of dangerous driving convictions in the UK. The UK average something like 6 per 100,000, and Birmingham has 9 per 100,000 motorists convicted of dangerous driving or death by dangerous driving. I'll see if I can find the article and link that as well. But either way, dangerous driving seems to be a prevalent problem in Birmingham, that and they're actually getting convictions for it. The article also stated that there was a gentleman who was campaigning for powerful cars to be banned from the road and limited to track only. He didn't cite specifically what they were, and his son was killed by a dangerous driver in a powerful car. He didn't say what car it was. But obviously it's very sad for him. But with all these things, there's campaigns for changes in the legislation. I don't actually think changing the legislation will change anything, because I think it's a social problem. It's an attitude problem. It's much like people hate cyclists, and why cyclists jump red lights, and why cyclists get angry with car drivers. The whole thing we're forgetting is that roads are a shared space, whether you own a motorbike, a car, a horse, a bicycle, or even you're just using your own feet to get around. There's a set of rules and guidelines in the highway code which say how you should and shouldn't drive or walk, how you should obey signals and signs, and there's no real argument for speeding past horses. It's already illegal, it's already against the guidelines. You can just try and get prosecutions easier, but you're not tackling the source of the problem as to why it happens. And the source of the problem is just the culture we've got. It's me first. Everyone is me first. That's a real thing that needs to be addressed. Basically, it's kind of antisocial behaviour on the roads. Let's look at the tailgating laws on the motorways and lane hogging. It's selfish, lazy driving. They always said in the highway code, don't tailgate someone. Move to the left when you finish your overtaking. Use the leftmost available lane, unless signs direct otherwise. But people don't. They just sit there because they don't want to be stuck in if there's a queue of traffic overtaking them, then they feel that they're stuck because they've come up behind a lorry. Well, if everybody used the lanes properly, then that really wouldn't happen very often. Go on then. How often are you going to be stuck behind a lorry whilst a few cars pass you? It's not. It's just sheer impatience, and everyone's got the priority on who needs to be where first. I'll digress a bit. I can't remember what the report now was, but they're talking about the speed awareness courses, and a group of people were asked, "Oh, why were you speeding?" It's just like, "Oh, we were late for a meeting, late for work." And they say, "Well, do you think it's acceptable?" They said, "Well, it doesn't harm." And then they carried on the speed awareness course a bit. It talks about a few other things. They'd forgotten about their first conversation in the morning about why they were speeding. And then he asked them again, what do you think when you see a car stonking up the motorway at 100 odd miles an hour? Most everybody said, oh, you know, the guy must be an idiot, must be a complete moron. And all the comments were in that vein. They just couldn't see the irony of the situation, that what they were doing and what they'd been caught for was the exact same thing. And the bloke in the BMW was speeding up the outside of the motorway, might have been late for work. He wasn't really an idiot. And the next day he might have been driving at 70 on the motorway, with the person caught speeding overtaking him. And they thought they were an idiot. But it's the perspective of things that need to change. It would be nice to think that one day we'll learn to get on with each other a bit better and leave the selfish behaviour behind and bring in a bit more consideration for others, some more traditional values. I know we don't live in Victorian times anymore. I certainly think there could be a little bit of a better balance between how we are now and how we were then. It's just a shame. But to Debbie Smith, who's got the horse campaign, I do hope that a good solution can be found to tackling antisocial motoring around horses. And to the gentleman who lost his son in Birmingham, my deepest condolences. I just hope we can find effective solutions to these problems. But I'm sorry, but I don't think bringing in the cameras to stop motorists with horses or banning high power cars is going to stop dangerous driving. It doesn't take much to circumvent these things. Like on a camera, if the time or date's set wrong on the camera, or if it's a motorbike that goes past, there is no number plate at the front, so you're not going to catch that person. You can drive dangerously in a Nissan Micra. You don't need a Porsche or a Ferrari to do it. It's not a solution. It might go some way towards reducing the numbers, which is also very it's a good thing to reduce numbers of deaths on the road, but we need a better solution. Just my little 2 pence worth. I'll be very interested to hear other comments on this. Until then, ride, drive safe and look after your fellow road users.